Hi guys, it's April, and I have a book review for you. Now I will do this review the same way I do all of my other reviews. I will have the non-spoilery section up front, followed by the spoiled filled thoughts that are going through my head afterwards, just in case if you want to figure out more about the book and decide if you want to read it, or if you just want to hang out with me and yak about books and see my full thoughts, spoil yourself, and or just start a discussion. Choice is yours. You have multiple options. I received Wicked Fox by Kat Cho in my Book of the Month box. I literally had no idea going into this book what it was about except for the synopsis, and my biggest hope was that I would really like it because it had a lot of the things mentioned that I really truly enjoy. And spoilers, I did. Wicked Fox is the story of a young Gumiho named Mi-young. A Gumiho is the Korean name for a nine-tailed fox. Now Mi-young one day stumbles across a young boy, Ji-hong, in the woods after dark being attacked by a goblin. She decides to intervene and save him, but in the process her fox speed is knocked out and now she has to find a way to put it back. Ji-hoon's and Min-young's paths continuously cross throughout this whole story. Both of them know they probably shouldn't be interacting with each other, but they keep on being pulled together. Their backgrounds lead them to understand each other on a level that most other people don't. This book is a first in a series. However, it is written in a way in which it feels like its own story. So if you only want to read the first book, you can. But then there's a little thing at the end that pulls you in and sucks you in and makes you want to read more. At least it made me want to read more. Now I am a true lover of K-dramas. I can't get enough of them. And so this story had the feel of a K-drama. A fantasy K-drama in written form. So I was very much sucked in. So if you like K-dramas, I highly recommend you pick up this book. I also think it does a very good job of bringing in a lot of that Korean culture and introducing it in a way that even if you don't know a lot about the culture, you can start picking up a lot of the little nuances. And it had a way of weaving in the nine-tail mythology that I truly appreciated because it gave you a lot of background that started connecting some dots that you're going to want to pay attention to that lore section. Now, both of the main characters come from a very hard place family-wise, which I actually appreciated a whole lot because it gave some of these characters a depth that I appreciated. It was hard to get through at some points, the family dynamics that these characters had to deal with, but I think it lends a lot to the storyline and how everything comes together. And yes, there is romance in this story, if you haven't picked up on that, but I didn't get the feel that it was rushed. These characters have to deal with a lot of things, and so things progress slowly, but there is points in the story where I feel like the timeline felt really condensed, even though it was over a period of time. Sometimes you didn't get a feel for that time change, even if it was weeks or months. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this story. I liked seeing all of the Korean culture. I liked seeing the legend of the Nine Tails. I liked how these characters interacted with each other. It very much had that K-drama feel that you have certain characters who have these certain qualities or quirks. Just made me smile. So if you like K-dramas, like I said before, or if you have just a love for mangas in general, you'll probably really enjoy this one. At least I feel like you will enjoy this one. I just need more people to read this and gush with me because I liked it. I liked it a lot. You don't want to say hi? You want to say hi? Now this is the point in which I am going to start saying words that may or may not contain spoilers. So if you don't want to spoil yourself, I recommend that you leave, go read the book, and come back because I need to discuss this with you. I do. I really, really do. I think the biggest thing I want to note in this book is just the betrayal of people that are close to both of these characters that continuously happens over and over and over again. You have Jae-hoon's mom, who abandons him, doesn't want to really take care of him anymore, and leaves him with his grandmother, which was probably the best for him, but at the same time, that's really, really hard on a young kid. And then you have Mi-young, whose mom is super overprotective, in a way that is very smothering, but would have made sense if she had actually explained why her actions were the way they were, and probably would have saved us a lot of trouble. And then, of course, you have Detective, I can't even think of his name, who is Mi Young's dad, who acts from a place of wanting to save her by killing her, which I always struggle with that mentality because part of the lore of the Nine Tails is that they might not have an afterlife. They're not guaranteed an afterlife. So how is that actually doing any good for her soul in the process of why he was trying to justify it? That I struggled with a little bit. And then you have the, what's her name? The shaman, Nara. I believe her name is Nara. And how everyone is so blinded by revenge everywhere. And I do know it's part of the culture because it's a very family-oriented culture. And therefore it keeps perpetuating. But I really struggled for Mi Young because no matter where she turned, she kept on getting all of the hits, all of them, when most of the time it wasn't even her fault. And I think that is probably why I liked it so much, because there was all this tension and this drama and everyone kind of clashing heads in a way that made me just keep on reading. And of course, then you had some of those interactions, especially with Jae-hoon's friends, and how they were okay with pushing each other's buttons and going back and forth. I just liked it. I liked it a lot. If you can't tell, even though I had some issues sometimes with the pacing and struggling with the family dynamics, but overall, I really, really enjoyed this read. And I am interested to see where the next book goes. There's a lot of possibilities, and it didn't give a lot away in the end. It just kind of opened it up. So I need the next book in my hand, like now, or now-ish. Please tell me down below what your thoughts are, and I heart your beautiful faces.